Life is a constant battle, but it's not a battle against other people. It's not a war against nations. Life is a battle against yourself. It truly is you versus you, me versus me. And the only way you're ever going to achieve anything is to compare to who you were yesterday, not to other people, not to, people doing better than you, especially people that are on a different level than you. Comparisonitis is a real thing, and it destroys a lot of people. It destroys their self-confidence, their self-worth, and they start to, start self-deprecating themselves, and then they start to do worse each and every day in their lives. The second I realized that in life it is me versus me was the second I gave it even more, intentional thought, and I actually gave my larger effort to the pursuits that I was on. If I had a problem the day before, and like a day I was like, okay, I messed up today, I have tomorrow to do better. And that next day I was like, okay, I'm going to do better tomorrow, and I did. And I would wake up early, I'd do a workout, whatever it may be, I'd go to a practice, because obviously on my football journey, that's what I had to deal with. If I had a bad day, if I had a bad training session, I would focus on the next day or the next training session and do better. So I'm comparing myself to my past self. I'm not comparing myself to the person I want to be. I'm not comparing myself to people that are ahead of me. Perhaps there are people that you'll find in your life that you look at them and you envy them. You covet, you want the things that they have. You want the life that they have. You want to be the person that they are. But you're nowhere near there. You're nowhere near there. So if you're comparing yourselves to them, you will constantly fall short of that level, and it will constantly make you feel worse about yourself. And the only person that you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. And also you should be comparing yourself to Jesus Christ, of course, as well. When it comes to Jesus, I'll just take a little segment here. We will always fall short of Jesus's glory because he was completely perfect, and none of us are perfect. None of us as humans are perfect. So don't let that be self-deprecating to you. Don't let that make you feel bad. Know that Jesus is perfect and he loves you regardless. And if you seek to do better, then he will glorify himself, and he will be made manifest in your life. But when it comes to actually like comparing yourself to other people like other humans, it can lead you down a slippery slope to depression and to misery in life. So that's what you have to do. You have to realize that it is truly you versus you out there, that it's not about other people. I found it sometimes in myself where I'm comparing myself to people that are way better than me. And I know that is not going to work. I have to focus on who I am and do what I know is best, that I know I'm capable of doing. When I went to Spain to do a professional trial, that's what I did. And I actually had a great trial. I received an offer, but I didn't really like the terms of the offer, so I declined it. But in terms of like how I performed and how I conveyed myself and portrayed myself on that trial was amazing. Probably some of the best football I ever played on a consistent level was on that trial. So it was all the work that I'd done to build myself up mentally, to build myself up physically, and the fact that I'm not comparing myself to other people. I'm just focused on playing my game, doing what I need to do, and if I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't. Of course, I didn't make it. And, I had to go through what I've gone through in these last couple months to get back on my feet. But comparisonitis is very easy to fall into. It's a very bad disease. Well, especially with the internet, social media, you see people, the classic, right? The obvious. Oh, people posting pictures of their cars, their houses, their women, whatever it is. It's easy to be like, oh, I want that, be jealous and coveting for things, right? Well, what does God say? What does the Bible say about coveting and how that destroys you? it is incredibly true that will destroy you, because then you'll fall into this pattern of like, oh, you're doing everything you can to seek these things and go and achieve those things, and if you do achieve them, you actually will realize that they don't actually fill you up with happiness. Because you were actually never the person to do it. Like, you never built yourself up. You just like put your insecurities behind you and just grind it away, and then you made it to everything, and then you realize, like, this isn't all that, right? Like, the cars, the house, the women, like, it's not all that, man. And those are just a few examples, but many other people have things in their lives that many people want, And if you fall into the pattern of always being like, oh, I want that, or I want this, and comparing yourself to them, like, they're on another level, man, and you have to accept that. They are on another level. If there's someone you could compare yourself to, it's probably me, because there's a lot that you guys are better than me at, and there's a lot that I do that we're kind of on a similar level. The best person you compare to is probably me, honestly, because I'm not rich. I'm trying to be, and I'm sure that's exactly where all of you guys are at right now too. So compare yourself to me, right? If there's anything that you want to compare, don't compare yourself to like someone like Andrew Tate, who's like just all up there, right? That can lead you to destruction. Compare yourself to someone who's actually on your level, someone who you can do better than, someone that you can actually push. You can push each other to do better. That's the thing, right? You can push each other to do better because you're comparing yourself to people that are on your level, which is much different than comparing yourself to people that you're nowhere near, right? So if anything, compare yourself to me, right? First and foremost, compare yourself to Christ, but you'll always fall short of Christ in terms of someone to compare yourself to. I'm just giving an example out there. I'm putting myself out there because I'm humble and I know that I fall short in many aspects. There are many things that you watch in this video, you do better than me, right? Just by what I've said on my podcasts, right? Like, you could take some of the stuff I've said and be like, okay, yeah, he was, I made videos where I'm super honest about the things I do wrong. So, compare yourself to that standard and try and do better, try and push yourself to do just a little bit better than that. And that's an achievable goal. It's an achievable goal rather than looking so high up to like some person, some billionaire, millionaire, and saying you want to get there. That's just going to lead you to destruction. So if you want to compare yourself to anyone, compare to me. I put myself out there for that. But the most important thing is to compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. That's the main idea, main point of this lesson, that it's not about other people. Don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to who you were, how you've grown, if you've grown at all. If you haven't grown at all, you have to make some changes to yourself, right? And the change will be tough. The change will be difficult, especially if you're in a type of time of life where it's hard, where where you have no motivation, you're stuck to the couch, whatever it may be. You have to find that internal meaning and passion and desire to actually get up and go and work and go and do stuff, right? Go make something happen, right? Go on this pursuit, right? Again, some of my podcasts maybe can help you with that. I've uploaded a few episodes. Go take a look. But this one is more so specifically about like how you're supposed to frame it in your mind. You should not be looking at it comparing to others. You should always be taking a me versus me mentality. It is truly you versus you. And that will lead me to my next point, which is to say that nobody is coming to save you. And that is true. You hear it all the time. All the time. I'm only going to say it once. I'm not going to repeat myself because I'm sure you're tired of hearing it. But people say it because it's true. Maybe your parents care about you. Maybe some very, very close friends care about you. Maybe. But for the most part, that's it. Nobody really cares about what you're doing, what you're going through, and your problems are minuscule in the entire context of the world, in terms of what happens each and every day in poor countries and, in slavery and in wars, right? There's wars going on all over the world right now. So, you lost some money, well, or I don't know, you gained 10 pounds, well, no one really cares. It's up to you to fix the issue. You know it's an issue, you know it's a problem, so go out there and fix it. Go out there and do better. And go out there and make that change that will move you in a better direction rather than continue to slip away and continue to fall into whatever mediocrity or whatever issue you're dealing with right now. Continue to fall into despair. So that's how you have to look at it. It's only you. You're the only one that can control yourself. No one else is going to control you. No one else is going to give you anything, and no one's going to care about your problems. Again, maybe the people closest to you might listen in, but maybe they don't even care anyway. So that gives you all the more incentive to realize that, yes, it's just down to you, right? It is only down to you. So it is truly a me versus me mentality, not comparing yourself to others, not relying on others, but realizing that it's up to you. No one really needs to give you anything. No one really, you don't deserve anything from anyone. Like, no one's going to give you anything either. No one's going to hand it to you on a plate ever. It is truly up to you to do it, right? I'll give a soccer example because that's the one that just came to my mind. If someone passes you the ball and you have a tap in front of the open net, it's an open net, completely open. You still have to put it in, right? Sure, they gave you the opportunity and made it as easy as possible for you, but you still have to put it in. People miss tap-ins all the time. People miss the net from like a foot out all the time. All the time. It's very common because whatever, it's nerves, or you just miss hit the ball once, or it's a bad bounce, whatever it is. And that goes, it goes on your misplays of the month. It goes on your highlight reels, and people laugh, of course. But it happens, man. That's the thing. You say, oh, he laid it on a play, he can't miss. People can miss, and they do miss. The best strikers, the best goal scorers in the world of soccer, miss those opportunities. There was a game where Aguero, he's, big striker, right? Very well-known name, Man City legend. It was against Chelsea, my team, Chelsea. He crossed into the back post. He is literally right in front of the net, completely open, and he puts it wide. He puts it on the other side of the post. He misses. And then, maybe 10 minutes later in the game, he has a shot from like 30 yards out, and he bangs into the top corner. That's the perfect example, right? So people can maybe help you, guide you in the right direction, but it's up to you to actually do it regardless. And that is, and the tap in example in soccer is a good way to illustrate that it can be the easiest chance, but if you're lazy, you don't actually push that extra little bit more, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it in this world. You're not going to make it in life. But once you realize that, yes, it's down to you, and people might help you, but for the most part, people are not going to help you. It's going to be up to you to do what you need to do. So once you realize that, it will allow you to push further, right? It gives you that mental frame, and that's what we're trying to build here, the mental frame, that it is you versus you, that only you can affect your circumstances. So only you can go out and give as much effort as you possibly can, work as hard as you possibly can. If you have a challenge, this difficult thing that you don't want to do, you might as well give every effort, right? If you don't think you're going to do it, you might as well give it all. Maybe you make it, maybe you don't, whatever task it is, whatever task at hand, whatever difficulty comes in your way. And each and every difficulty, each and every setback, each and every mistake is a chance for you to, write down what you did wrong, reflect on it, and make sure to not make it again, and make sure to do better and learn from it, right? That can be the worst thing as well. You make a mistake and you don't learn from it, you make the same mistake over and over again. That's also bad, right? That means you still don't have that mental like frame and attitude towards like you're the only one that can affect things type of thing, right? You're the only one that can affect things, so therefore you have to look at mistakes and do better from them as well. So, I actually didn't have notes today. It was a little bit ranty. It was a little bit, just kind of me talking my stuff, right? But I hope you actually took something from this, because I'm trying to give some good examples, talk about my own experience. Like for me, I was humbled so many times, right? I had to, play through training sessions with injuries, with sicknesses, and I had to go through games with that. And that's what, when my coach would like be mad at me because I made a mistake, what I realized is like, yeah, no one cares, right? No one cares that I have a stomach problem. No one cares that my ankle hurts. No, it's still up to me to perform. And if all they see is me making a bad pass, all they see is what is on the surface, which is me making mistakes, me not running as hard, me just looking out of sorts, not looking confident enough. That's all the coaches see. So that's how I learned that. I learned that quite quickly. That it's like, yeah, they don't care. So neither does anyone else care about what you're dealing with. You still have to go out there and perform. And you still have to go out there and control what you can control, which is your effort, the quality that you can bring, the mental strength, discipline, confidence. These are things that are in your control. And if you have control over these things, you will really, do better, right? And then, as a result of that, I had games where I was out of it. I was absolutely messed up, but I still pushed and I still did well. Even if I felt like crap the entire game, people would be like and tell me, yeah, you played well, man. You did good stuff. Or at the very least, they tell me, yeah, you did okay. You didn't do anything bad. You didn't do anything really spectacular either, which is okay considering just how bad I'm feeling, right? It's better than making a huge mistake leading to a goal or something terrible like that. Missing one of those tap-ins. That can be like our own little inside joke, missing a tap-in, right? Missing a tap-in in the context of life happens every day. Happens every day. You maybe have the most obvious thing that you to go pursue, or the obvious thing you have to change, obvious thing you need to go and do to actually make it as something in your life, and you don't do it. That's when you miss the tap-in, right? And perhaps that can be something that I talk about more and more often, but it happens every day. So just know this. I will leave you on this. I will end it now. It is you versus you out there. No one's coming to save you. No one cares about your problems, about the things you're dealing with. It's only up to you as the individual to take control of your life, to take control of your situations, and do better each and every day. Seek to correct your mistakes. Seek to truly strive for better and give 100% effort in all your pursuits, regardless of how you feel, regardless of your motivation levels. And you will find that you will give your all. Keep your faith strong. Keep your faith in God. The only person you should compare it to is Jesus. And it's also to compare yourself to yourself, to the person you were yesterday, to every day you wake up, truly doing better, being a better person each and every day. And you will find that you will make great strides in your life, great strides in your day-to-day, to becoming a better person each and every single day.